Rise, renew, reconnect. Welcome to From the Ashes, a podcast where every story ignites hope and healing.
Shine the fire in the darkest night, a phoenix burns. It's ready for flight. Shadows may come, try to tear you apart, but you're the flame.
Welcome back to From the Ashes. Today, I'm very excited to bring a special guest on, and I'm going to start with a story about how I found him. I went to Taiwan recently with my husband and our friends and family, and we decided one day to go to Mao Kong, which is a mountain kind of on the edge of Taipei, where they specialize in growing tea. And it's known for the gondola that goes up to the mountains in Mao Kong with really picturesque hills of tea bushes and everything. So we decided to take a day to explore. And we spent a whole day there and had a blast. It was probably our favorite part of Taipei. And during the day, it was pouring rain. So we had to go from shop to shop and stop into each shop. And so in each shop, we had a different experience. Everything from trying tea ice cream to trying the different types of teas to having lunch. And then finally, when we were coming down the hill, I noticed a shop at the side of the road. And at that point we had come and tried tea, but we hadn't bought any to bring back with us. And it's like, why don't we go into the shop to see if we can get some tea to bring back? And there was Rafa. So Rafa is our guest today. He is a tea master from Taiwan of multiple generations. And when he welcomed us into his shop, we were so impressed by the high quality of his teas. And not only that, but the welcoming atmosphere that Rafa created for us in trying the teas and telling us about all the different types and why it's special. And I really resonated with so much that he said about tea and the philosophy of tea. So welcome, Rafa, to the show.
Thanks for having me, first of all. And my name is Rafa. My Mandarin name is Hon Yi. I am a tea master from Taiwan, and my family has been running tea business over 7 generations in Maokong, Taipei. I'm very excited to share what I know with all the audience.
Yeah. All right. So I have many things that I want to discuss today. And for those of us who are less familiar with tea, right, and the culture of tea in Taipei, let's start with that and just give everyone an overview of why Taiwanese tea is special.
So, my family started tea business since the late Qing Dynasty period, and the reason why Taiwanese tea is special because Taiwan basically is an island surrounded by the ocean. And to grow good tea, we need humidity. So Taiwan is surrounded by the ocean, which means it's humid all year round. On top of that, Taiwan is mountainous. It has a tremendous amount of high mountains in particular. And most countries, high mountains tend to be drier. But Taiwan, because it's surrounded by the ocean, so even in the high mountain, it's still humid enough for the tea bushes to grow well. So unlike most countries which might snow in a very high altitude, in Taiwan, most of the mountain there's no snow. That provides a very good foundation for the tea bush to grow. The most important thing is like most of the Taiwanese people originally came from China, where China basically is the root, the origin of the tea. So we have good tea master, good environment, and good species, and also the humidity that makes Taiwan has good tea, one of the best tea in the world.
Amazing. Yeah. So, from my understanding, the tea that is probably the most famous from Taiwan is oolong, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, why is oolong so special and, how is it made and how does it differentiate itself from, let's say, a black tea or a green tea?
So basically, technically speaking, refers to it's a partially fermented tea. So the concept of oolong is actually quite confusing and broad. First of all, green tea is a non-fermented tea, and black tea, on the other hand, is fully fermented. So oolong is what we call partially fermented, it's anything in between. So oolong could be anything from 1% of fermentation to 99% of fermentation, and this is called partial. So some of the oolong tea does taste like green tea. Some of them taste like black tea. Some of them are in between or have their own unique smells and tastes. That's the reason why oolong is always confusing and so interesting because it comes with all different styles and tastes.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I think here in the States, we're very used to having, let's just say, black tea, right? That's the most common. And then we have various like herbal teas, but that's not coming from the same plant. So when you say tea, what is the plant and why is it so good for making this beverage?
Tea, the origin of originally people started to drink it in China. That's a history because actually since the civilization of the Chinese dynasties, people started to drink tea since there's a human civilization. So the history of tea is very, very long,
Mhm.
and people started drinking it as a medicine. So
Mhm.
people not just like people didn't really like just appreciate the taste of it. People thought that tea could heal your body. It's
Mm,
very good. It's a very healthy drink. And and after that, because people started to process the tea a little bit, they dry it and the styles come afterwards. And the
mhm.
flavor and the aroma and the taste become will also improve during the history. So back to your question is like what differentiate a tea bush from other tea. So first of all, the so-called tea that we have is actually I'm not so sure in English how to pronounce it correctly, but in Mandarin, it's basically a type of tea plant that is actually they have two type of tea plants. Most of
Okay.
people don't know this. One is a tree type.
Mm,
So some of the tea, the tea like a pour,
mm,
it could grow like 3 to 4 floor heights. It's like a
okay.
very big tree. So that's what we call tea trees.
Oh, interesting.
So some of the tea tree just like a tree, taller than a tree. And most of the tea trees of oolong are tea bushes.
Okay.
They're just like a shrub. It's like about the size of our waist.
Okay.
So there's a big difference between the height of the tea bushes. So basically, there are two types of tea tree. And for Indian black tea, some of them are like naturally bigger, but not as tall as a tree. So the difference between these two species is one type of if it's a tree type, basically naturally contains a lot of caffeine and
Mm,
has a lot of astringent and tannic acid. So those tea are more ideal for making them into aged tea, or those tea are quite ideal for making them into beverage because the tea bush themselves have a very strong flavor. And for oolong tea, it contains less caffeine and less tannic acid. Oolong tea in general tastes smoother.
okay.
The tea bushes taste smoother than the tree type.
All right. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And
And
sorry, just one question. Is the oolong tea bush the same as the one they use in Japan for their green tea?
same family but different species. Just
Okay.
like flowers, like tulips. Tulips come with different colors.
Right.
It's the same category, but it has different sizes and different colors, different styles of different smells as well. So tea is like that. It all looks like the same to a regular person, but actually, just like the oolong in Taiwan has more than 200 types. They all look
That's
the same to everybody, but actually they're different.
that's really cool. I don't think a lot of people know that. I think people all think it's just one plant. So,
Yeah, people think tree is tree, and then you just grow it, and it becomes green tea or black tea directly.
okay, so I want to dig a little bit into the medicinal part of tea because you mentioned it, and as you know, I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, and I've learned a lot about herbal medicine throughout the years. So, I would love to hear about what the traditional medicinal uses are for tea.
Can you specify
Yeah,
a
so
little
you
bit?
said that people started to drink tea as medicine, right?
Yeah.
So what were I guess what like how does it benefit the body?
Okay. People believe that in a Chinese medicine book, the doctor believed that tea has the healing power for inflation. So when your body has inflation, people will drink tea to heal you better because Chinese medicine's philosophy basically is to like counterbalance what we are having right now. It's not like a quick solution, but it's like a slower
Mm,
and less intrusive method that will just heal your body in general.
mhm.
So people started to drink tea because they thought it's healthy. And by modern technology, there are tons of evidence proving that tea is actually healthy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have much side effect, almost no side effects. And
Right.
tea also has vitamin just a little bit, and it has some chemical substance which will stop us from aging. Also, it can facilitate our metabolism. It also make our blood circulation go faster.
Yeah. So it's really good for, so you said inflammation and also circulation and whatnot. Is there anything that the fermentation process does to the tea? Like why do people ferment tea?
Basically, this question, if you go deeper, is like, why do people process tea, right? Why do people started to process tea? Basically, it would mainly we gotta talk about the origin of the tea. So tea originally came from China, and the harvest provinces are around, mostly around Fujian province, which is the southern part of China. Geographically, it's like if you look at China versus Europe, it's like Spain. It's like Spain or France. So Fujian province is in the southern part of China, and but the capital was in Beijing, or there were other bigger city, major cities in China. It took people a long, very long time for them to ship the tea from the southern part to the northern part or to different cities. So if people didn't process tea, tea will lose all the flavor when they arrived. That's when people started to process tea to prolong the expiry date. But people didn't expect that by processing the tea, the flavor will alter so dramatically.
Yeah.
So people originally, initially, they process it for shipping, for keeping it longer, so the flavor wouldn't be gone, completely gone when the tea arrives. So also they have something to do with European tea because Westerner drink most black tea.
Mhm.
Black tea basically can be preserved for a longer time,
Mm.
right? So when European came to Asia by boat, it also took them a lot of time to ship the tea back to Europe or to America before probably several months. And then when everything, the roots is more mature, probably several weeks, but still take a long time for them to get everything done. So when the tea arrived, when they ship it back to Europe, especially the journey you got to cross the ocean, it has salt in the air. So also affect the smell and the taste of the tea. So
Mm.
black tea, in general, you could keep it, preserve it longer without changing much of the flavor. That's one of the reasons why people drink. The businessmen sold mostly black tea to Europe. Imagine you want to sell a green tea, but it has no flavor at all.
Yeah.
People wouldn't buy it. So black tea is the reason why Europeans drink a lot of it is because people did it for that reason.
I think that's, yeah, that's really great. And you know, one thing that I noticed, because I am a huge fan of Japanese matcha, is that I've noticed that the matcha, it can't really ship properly internationally because once it's a certain amount of like it's aged a certain amount or it's been exposed to a certain amount of air, the color changes and then the flavor changes. So like the deeper flavor of that matcha it doesn't travel well. So even now, like with, you know, with more modern technology, I still find that tea is very delicate in that way. But it also makes it very exciting too, because then it means like I have to travel to places to find the tea that I want.
Yeah, that's true. Different type of tea you could be for different length of time, and green tea and matcha basically we drink them as fresh as possible. For
Mhm.
oolong tea, because they are more processed, so they you can preserve it longer without losing too much of the flavor. Just like some of our customers, they bought a tea from us. They don't just open it right after they go home. They probably open it after half a year, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. That's possible. But our goal is to hope that when a customer open the tea still has good flavor. That's
Mhm.
a fundamental reason why we process it.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your tea and the specialties around Mao Kong? Because there were a few that you introduced to us that were very unique. I think there's like a
Tea Guan Yin tea.
Guan Yin tea that a lot of people don't actually know about here in the United States.
Okay, so Tea Guan Yin basically is a cultivar, is a species of tea, and you came from Fujian province as well. Tea Guan Yin in Mandarin, Tie means iron, and Guan Yin is a Chinese goddess,
Yeah.
so iron goddess. And this Guan Yin, this god is more like a goddess of mercy.
Mhm.
So she cares about people and always loving, very friendly. And this, according to the legend, this tea was believed to be a gift from the goddess herself
Oh,
because there was a farmer whose name is called Wei Yin. He's a very religious Buddhism person, and he worshipped the statue of Guan Yin every day. And one day he dreamed about Guan Yin. Guan Yin told him that I have a gift for you for all the human beings, which is a tea. And in his dream, he dreamed about like Guan Yin told him to cross the mountain, and there's a waterfall behind a mountain, and you got to walk into that waterfall. After that, you will find a tea. And after this farmer woke up, he actually searched for the tea, and I found it. And so because the tea that he used it to produce tea, and he found the flavor is so good, so he named this tea bush after Guan Yin.
okay.
And
Okay.
iron means because this tea has a very strong flavor, and also the color of it looks very like a rusty, like
Mhm.
maybe like a red and a dark color. That's the reason why it's called tea. It means iron. It means very strong and rich flavor.
Yes. And we really enjoyed trying that one. It's very rare to find it here. You might have to go to Taiwan to get it. I don't know.
Exactly. Especially the Taiwan in Taiwan and in China are very different. In Taiwan, it's traditional deep roasted craftsmanship. In China, it's more like green tea.
Mhm.
It tastes, the flavor is more refreshing in China. In Taiwan, is a totally complete different taste. Because in Taiwan, we have preserved a lot of traditional cultures in terms of producing tea as well. So in order to find traditional deep roasted Taiwanese, rather than go to China, you need to come to Taiwan to be able to experience it in the northern part of Taiwan, Taipei.
Amazing. Yes. So I want to shift gears a little bit and I want to focus a little bit more on your personal story as a tea master. So I guess the first question about that is like, how did you choose the path of becoming tea master?
Basically, it's a family business. My family has been running tea business over 7 generations. I'm the seventh generation, and I'm always have the choice. Unlike a lot of, I receive the question very often. I have a lot of international customer or local customer who ask me, will your parents force you to become a tea master? Do you have a choice? It's like, how does it feel like? Do you really need to take over the business or not? So my father always tell me that if you don't want to be a tea master, that's fine. It's totally good with it because he also educate other tea masters.
Mhm.
So he thinks that as long as this industry can continue, he's willing to share what he knows with everybody, including the expertise in production.
Mhm.
So if I don't take over this business, if I don't want to become a team master, there are still team masters who got all his knowledge that who can pass down what we know to the future generations. And what motivates me, what makes me want to become a team master is because I was surprised by our own team.
Okay.
So when I was 13 years old, because when I was a little child, our shop was actually quite remote. It's not like very convenient, especially before there was no gondola.
Mhm.
It's like it's not a true abstraction at all. It's just a mountain place, a small tea store in a mountain. And my father has been awarded by a lot of famous celebrities, mayors, and presidents in Taiwan several times. So people knew that my father is a very skillful tea master. He's very profound and professional in tea making. So people were just like people tried his tea elsewhere, and then they came to the mountain for his tea. Like people just like before the internet wasn't so good, but people just like figured out their own way to show up in our tea store. So as a child, I didn't know like how would it happen. It's not common. It's like you live somewhere far away, and then people just showed up to buy tea and then loved our tea so much, and I didn't know why. So at the age of 13, I before I also drank tea, but at the age of 13, I smelled and tried our tea. I was like in French, oh la la. It's like this is so good. Well, I know. It's like I got surprised. Some of the customers that came to our shop, they got surprised. It's the flavor, the smell is something they have never experienced before. They thought they know what tea it is, but they haven't experienced something like this before. So myself, I was shocked. I was surprised by our own product. And also the reason why it takes me so long to be able to to feel this way is because our olfaction, which is our smelling organ, and our palates, they develop slower.
Mhm.
Our peak of our palate is around 25 years old. So
Oh,
actually, compared to our brains, our outer body systems, our palate develops slower. So usually people start to understand the beauty of tea around 16, 18, or 20 years old because it's when your palates become more sophisticated. You will be able to detect some smells and tastes that you didn't couldn't fully understand.
yeah.
And because I drink tea almost every day, so I have easier access to good tea. So me is personally is a bit earlier than most of the people. I was like 13 years old. And I think because also I got used to it, so it was easier for me to get into that field.
Hmm. Once you got surprised by this, did you decide then and there, oh, like I'm going to study this, or did you go off and do something else before that?
Uh, Before I fully become a tea master, at the age of 13, I started to help the family business, not because I'm fully decided on something, just a family business. Just my father always told I have an older brother as well. Always told my brother whose name is Hao Yi, and he always told us that it's okay for you to not become a tea master, but you gotta always remember what brought us up. It's just like tea is basically our income, our family's income. So without being a tea master, but we gotta still memorize that tea is so important to us because it's where the money came from.
Right.
So always gotta remember this. Tea is important to us. It has a special meaning to us. For everybody, it's just a drink. But for us, for the family that has been running this business for so long, it has a special meaning.
Yeah, definitely.
In
No, go
terms
ahead.
of the work experience, it's like before I became a tea master, I have done a lot of jobs. I also when I was a college student, I also taught English a little bit
Okay.
and as an English teacher, and I also went to the US as a game operator in an amusement park in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's
And
really interesting.
yeah, also I studied in Europe for 1 year, and then after I came back to Taiwan, I worked in an optical lens company that basically are my previous company was like taking customer orders to create lenses for cars, for street lighting, for like Tesla, for Mercedes, for
Mhm.
different kind of usage in terms of the LED optical lenses.
Yeah, so I want to ask you a little bit more about this journey because I think that, for a lot of us in life, it takes several turns, right, before we really find a path that we resonate with. And you've had a really interesting one because, like, you know, when we came to your shop, we noticed one, you speak really good English, but then we also learned that you speak Spanish, right? And so I think you have a very unique international perspective. I guess my first question is, what led you to choose to study abroad?
I I chose to study abroad because I studied when I was a college student. My major was in English and Spanish, and since I learned Spanish, I think why not to go to Spain, give it a try. And but life is always full of surprises. I didn't have any expectation on Spain or Europe. It's just like I got no idea. I know Europe is like it's different, but I got no ideas about how Europe should look like and about the people there, the lifestyle, everything. I got no clues. I thought I understand Europe, just like, but actually I got there and I was able to live there for a good decent amount of time, and then that changed my whole perspective completely. So I went to Europe because not because I have so many plans or something. Just like I study Spanish and I said I gotta check it out. That's it. Very simple. I'm
Yeah,
always open to a new things. I always want to try new things.
which is really great. I think that's what expands our world perspective and also challenges us. In terms of your experience studying abroad, because like you didn't have any expectations and you didn't really have like a goal, did you find yourself like discovering something new about yourself or being challenged in a certain way?
I don't feel any. I didn't went through any like setbacks in America or in Europe because I think I'm always open to new things. So in terms of food, some of my classmates they didn't get used to eating bread every day. They're okay with bread, but not every day because of mainly we eat rice or noodles in Taiwan. But in Spain they eat bread every day.
Right.
It's like their staple. And for me it's okay. Rice, noodles and bread. I don't know. Other things might be okay. Anything is okay for me. And so in terms of that, I was okay. And in terms of the lifestyle, I think it was quite great as well. Different climate, lot drier, and we didn't drink tea. They would drink wine.
All right.
So we drank a lot of wine and beer. And in Spain, the coffee shop where they sell beers and drink the alcohol everywhere, just like 7-Eleven in Taiwan. Basically, the street full of bars and
Yeah.
cafes.
Yeah. Did you drink coffee?
Yeah, I tried. I personally, I'm more sensitive to caffeine. So if I drink too much caffeine, I will have diarrhea.
Oh, well,
Tea has less problem.
I guess so. Yeah. So, the caffeine in tea and the caffeine in coffee does feel pretty different. Because I'm guessing you drink tea every day, right?
Yeah,
Does it increase your tolerance for it at all?
it depends. Depends on what kind of tea that you drink. If it's green tea is very caffeinated or some. It also something has something to do with the quality. If it's like a low quality tea, it naturally has it's more caffeinated.
Interesting.
So there are a lot of things that we need to take into consideration. Also, how you brew it, by which temperature. If it's higher temperature, more caffeine will be released during the brewing process. If it's lower brewing temperature, you will have less caffeine.
Is that true for both tea and coffee?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Coffee, if you use a lower temperature to brew it, you will release less caffeine, same as tea.
All right. So going back to your experiences abroad, right? Because you worked in both the States and Spain, and I know you were pretty easygoing, but were there any things that gave you any type of culture shock?
Culture shock.
Hey listeners, if you're enjoying the stories and insights from the Ashes, why not stay connected with our community? Join my mailing list for bi-weekly updates on upcoming events, wellness tips, fun tidbits, and of course, new podcast episodes. I promise no spam, just valuable content to help you live your best life. Head over to www.intrepidwellness.life and sign up today. Don't miss out, and let's keep the conversation going.
Probably the US,
Okay.
America, right? I was like, because the amusement park that I worked for is a very local amusement park called Canova's in Pennsylvania, in Bloomsburg, basically. It's in the central part of Pennsylvania. It's a very small town. Almost like 98% or 99% of the local people there are white people.
Right.
So the racial diversity is quite not no much. There's no racial diversity, you know. On the street, there's almost no black people. There's a few Asian in the whole town.
Okay.
So there's no other international races or just basically just white people. And but in particular, the, my colleagues, my colleagues is an old grandpa. Like they call them redneck. He called himself and other people redneck. I know it's rude. I don't mean to offend them. He told me that these people, because there's a farming industry, and then
Mhm.
you barely see no small cars. Most of them drive trucks.
Right.
So for me, and for a lot of cars in America, this is still like real countryside America.
Yeah.
Not like New York, not like California. It's totally different. It's real America. More like a cowboy style. So for
Interesting.
me, the culture shock is we know America is a melting pot and it has
Right.
all different voices and all different liberal thinking. But actually, the place I went to, people were very friendly. But in terms of the thinking, they actually quite closed.
Mhm.
They just like a lot of people, they don't go out of the town. They
Right.
have spent their whole life in the town. So to me, that was surprising because in Taiwan we go traveling very frequently,
Mhm.
and I think in America because it's so big and people, I suppose, assume that people should go out very often, but it turns out to be the opposite. People have never been out of the town their entire lives.
Yeah, in some cases, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and one thing I want to share is I think culture shock is in America you could talk to anybody. It's
Uh,
just like small talks are common. You see a random person on the street, you could just talk to them, and then that person will definitely respond to you, usually in a very positive way. I think in Taiwan, people are friendly, but people don't really talk to strangers for no reasons. In
Mhm.
America, you just greet each other,
Yeah.
not because you want to do something or you want to chat or something. You just greet them. You have a small talk for 30 seconds and you go away. You don't see each other for the rest of your life, just
Yeah.
like normal. So you talk. In America, people talk to each other easily and then short conversation. In Taiwan, we don't do that.
Yeah. Oh, which is funny because I think that you picked up this American tradition of small talk.
I love
You're
it, you
actually
know.
very good at it. Yeah.
I love it. I love to talk to different people very easily. And in not just in Taiwan, in Asia in general,
Hmm.
if you just talk to a random like a stranger on the street, people will become very defensive.
Yeah.
People don't know what you are doing. If you are trying to do something, there must be a purpose, right? People would like naturally assume that you have a purpose. You want to do something, but in America, it's not. People just, yeah, talk is talk. There's nothing will happen. It's just
Yeah.
normal, but I really love that. So when I got back to Taiwan, I also sort of do that in Taiwan.
Hmm.
I could start a small talk with anybody. So I went to America before I went to Europe. So I think Europe is quite similar. They don't have much small talk as American do, but when I went to Europe, it's like great. It was easier for me to make new friends
Hmm.
and talk to more people because I got used to it. So I could talk to anybody I met.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point. I think this is something that a lot of people, because even in America, right, for those of us who grew up with immigrant parents, like my parents are from Taiwan.
Hmm.
Yeah, so but we grew up a lot with in my house at least very much with like Chinese and Taiwanese customs, right? And so I grew up a little bit more reserved and not really liking to talk to other people and strangers, right? But then as I started to go to school and everything, I found that yeah, like a lot of people do like to explore and talk to each other and stuff. So I'm still very shy even now at like age 36, but I think I've gotten used to it like being a little bit more out of my shell. So yeah, I do appreciate that too with American culture. Um, okay. So why did you choose this small town in Pennsylvania?
Um, because I went to America through there's an institute between the U.S. government and Taiwan's government. There's agreement. It's like they allow students to go to America for the summer. We were able to work there for about 2 months and 1 month for traveling. So the visa was for students, and it allows students to go to America to work for a small amount of time. So in terms of the place that we could work for, there were quite many options, including the national parks as well.
Mhm.
Also Six Flags, a lot of different amusement park, Yellowstone as well. I eventually chose that place to go to because I haven't I have no idea about Pennsylvania. The same. It's like I don't give it too much assumptions on something. I just think this place I got no clues. And I don't hear this state very often for me. So I decided to check it out to see what's going on. And I checked the map. This place is like in the middle of nowhere. It's not a big city.
Mhm.
So I think it would be pretty fun for me to go to a place that most people wouldn't go to.
Yeah.
Like that town is like most Americans haven't been to, but it's like I think it's cool for me to experience something different. Because I could go to New York, I could go to California, other major cities anytime I want to, because it's something somewhere I probably would definitely visit in the future. But there are some areas like if you don't visit right now, you probably don't visit in the rest of your life.
Mm,
That's why I wanted to give it a try today. I want to give it first try to somewhere different.
yeah. I love that. It sounds like you're a person who's ready to just be in the moment and take in new things and not have too many expectations, which I really appreciate because I think that's also a pretty rare quality in people.
I think because I sort of been thinking humanity since I was very little.
Mm,
So as long as we understand humanity, I think everything is okay. Because some people is like, oh, they probably experience, how to say, discrimination.
hmm
There's still discrimination to some degree. But I think America, people don't really discriminate other people based on how they look. But people in America discriminate on the fluency of your English.
mm,
Just like if you are international visitor, not just like immigrant, if you are a visitor, but if you don't speak good English, because Americans, they don't speak, most of them don't speak other languages.
right,
So if you don't speak good English, people just like think they sort of like would judge you on that.
right.
So that's where the discrimination mostly came from. For me, I didn't really have such a problem because I feel okay to use English to communicate and express myself. And
hmm
I don't know. I'm a very tough person. It's like when I violate my rights, I'm like American, you know. I stand out. I will stand out for myself. So
Right.
I think this kind of message, it's like people can feel it or something. So when you have the confidence within yourself, and then people just like, well, I treat them very friendly. They treat me very friendly as well. And also in Taiwan, we have discrimination as well. It's just like different country, the cases are just different.
hmm Yes, this is very true. I think what you're getting at too is like you're able to vibe with, especially like in America or like when you were abroad, so you're able to vibe with other people and like connect with them because I think of that idea of humanity that you seem to be humanity first rather than like, oh, Taiwan first or America first, that type of thinking.
Everybody is the same because when I Taiwan and China, there's a conflict
hmm
between China and Taiwan, and also there's a lot of diplomatic relationship with the whole world right now. Especially we have we have wars in 2024. We got wars going on
Yeah.
at this moment, and I think that is something hard to imagine. Like in current world, we still have wars. So when I was little, I saw all the news with my parents. It's like this. There was so much conflicts and dispute on a lot of things. So my father told me that if alien attacks the Earth, everybody's the same. It's just like we feel like, oh, I'm Taiwanese, I'm Japanese, I'm American, I'm European. It's like because we don't view things from a broader perspective. We still view ourselves in a very restricted ideas.
Mhm.
Humans just are humans. We are all the same. When probably after, because Elon Musk is going to go to Mars, he has a plan, right? We probably will migrate out of the Earth in the future. So probably after 500 years, you will be surprised in a different planet to be able to see a person from the Earth. So it's like a hometown, you know. You probably seen on Jupiter and say, "Oh, you're from the Earth. I'm also from the Earth." So at that time, you wouldn't care about if you are like Taiwan or China. It's so small.
Right.
You
Yeah.
probably would be surprised you're from galaxy as well.
Yes. So I mean, that's what I hope would happen. Like even I would love it to happen today, but it just to be able to see that a lot of these labels that we put on ourselves are very superficial. So yeah, I think along the same lines of that, how has your experience abroad now influenced your journey as a tea master?
Oh, it definitely has a big influence on me. I did went through a lot of setbacks, but it changed a lot of me, especially but during the changing process, ourselves wouldn't be able to notice that because when I came back from, I first went to America, then I went to Spain, and I traveled to 25 countries, and I got back to Taiwan. So my parents, they feel like there's something different in me, not in a positive way, just like
Right.
they think that I always have a lot of thoughts. It's just like I sort of always want to challenge or give different perspective on everything. Just like the way how I view things has altered without me knowing it. Because I've seen so many different things. I probably because I also hablo español también. It's like I speak English, I speak Spanish, and I've been to different countries. When you speak a foreign language, you try to think. It's a different mindset. You think differently because in that culture you are a different person. Just like it's where the language will shape a person. So the more cultures that you've been to, that you have experienced, the more diverse you will think.
Mhm.
Just like in Spain, it's okay for you to take a rest for 2 hours, for probably for lunch break. And they actually work for 8 hours or 9 hours as well. They get off work at 9 p.m.,
Mhm.
8 p.m. or 9 p.m., which is quite late because they take a longer siesta.
Yeah.
People thought that they only work for like 4 hours, 5 hours. It's not true. They just take a longer break, but also they prolong their time to get out of the work. So it's a different perspective. It's just like in Taiwan, you only take a rest for 1 hour or half an hour. So in terms of many small things, I will think differently. Just
Yeah.
like everything is okay, everything is possible for me. As long as you accommodate well, you feel it well, it's okay. It's all about mindset. It's about how we think. I've been recently shared with people. It's like being retired is a mindset. It's not a status. If I feel I'm retired, I'm retired right now. I could be retired at the age of 30, 40, 50, anytime I want. Being retired is an option. It's like you don't need to worry about if you will be hungry for the next meal. As long as you have options, you could be retired anytime you want. You
Mhm.
go to work to experience. It's just like we are physically attend to that place, but mentally you could be retired. It's just like to some people it's like hard to relate to it, just like
Right.
because people don't like to work. But for me, work is fun.
Mhm.
I work in an amusement park. I went to different countries. I also work in a different industry. And for me, work is always fun.
Yeah.
I always try to amuse myself, because life is hard. And if you don't find the fun part of it, it's just like you come here to suffer. We come here to experience great things.
Mhm.
I think that's the meaning of life. We come to this world to experience something extraordinary, something good, something bad. But just like the proportion, most people focus too much on the bad things, and they focus too little on the good things. So by changing our mindset, I think we can nourish ourselves better spiritually simply by changing our mindset.
Absolutely. I want to applaud that. So,
Thank you.
one of the greatest memories I had when we visited your shop in Mao Kong is to hear you talk about how tea ties into that philosophy. So, if you can share a little bit of that, like how can tea help us live better on a grander scale of things?
Just like I share with you, I'll say to the audience one more
Yeah.
time because I think drinking tea is a choice. And the reason why people drink tea and appreciate the beauty of tea because they start to think deeply about how their life should be. You got to imagine like what kind of life you expect to become of yourself. And drinking tea is definitely a choice. When you have a choice, why don't we choose a better way to live our lives? So I think start from drinking tea. It means start from paying attention to small things around us. Just like people would say, go to gym as well. But little by little, you care about things around you. And for teas, you care about the smell, you care about the taste, you care about tea really calms you down. With drinking tea, you probably need to prepare something. It calms you down in the process. When you drink it, you start to treat yourself better. You always treat yourself better. As long as you treat yourself better in many different things, you become a better person without knowing it. You care about your skin condition, your health. You care about what you eat, what you drink, what you do, what kind of books you read, and what kind of context you bring expose yourself to. It's all about choices. So drinking definitely is a choice, a good choice. Just like clothing, you could wear a t-shirt every day. You could wear very good stylish clothes every day. It's the same life, but people will view it differently. You also, most importantly, you will feel yourself differently.
Yeah.
It's just like positive. always like a positivity within your heart.
Absolutely. And that's so beautifully said. And it also ties back into what you said before about languages and culture and how you're kind of you take on a different personality, even different mindset when you speak a different language. And I think the drinking the tea and doing all these things, it just creates more intention for life. And so if we believe in our own potential and we believe in the idea that we're here to experience extraordinary things, whether they be difficult or not, we can continue to make the small choices that make our life, that enrich our lives. So,
That's true. There's uh several books that I want to share with you. One is
yeah,
this one. It's a Ray Dalio. It's called Principles.
Ray Dalio.
Yeah, and this I think the author is the founder of an investment company. He's
Okay.
a very rich person, and he wrote this book, Principles. It's about how he treats things. Not principle doesn't mean that you are a very strict person, always following rules. It's just about you need to understand yourself. So basically, this book talks about how should we understand ourselves. You got to set principles. You need to make yourself clear to everybody.
Mm,
It's like as long as your principle within yourself, you know who you are, you got boundaries, and you clearly express it to other people around you. People know who you are. Most people is like we sort of like think why people treat me this way, why people don't understand me. It's because sometimes we don't express ourselves clearly enough.
mm.
And that priority is like we don't understand ourselves. So we don't know how to tell people who we are.
Oh,
So this book is talking about you got to know yourself first. You got to know what you care about in your lives and express it to other people, and you stick with it. So that what makes you shape a better person. Also, there's a book called Adrift.
okay.
Adrift. This author basically he has been staying alone in the ocean for 76 days with a very very small boat
Okay.
because he took a big boat out and he met sort of like a typhoon and his boat crashed. So he had a safe, how do you say the small boats like for preparation for safety boats, like a
Like, yeah,
very like a
those
yacht.
rescue boats or something.
Yeah, rescue boat. He stayed in that rescue boat for 76 days and he ran out of the food for the first 1 or 2 weeks. It's
Okay.
like he ran out of food very fast. So it was like very lonely.
Mhm.
It's like this book is talking about the loneliness within your heart. And
Mhm.
76 days, every minute spent with yourself in the ocean, that's like incredible. It's like even by imagine that, it's just like so different. But of course, we couldn't experience that by ourselves, and that's not suggested. But it's good to see people's story and then picturing ourselves in that scenario. I think I always like benefit so much in people's stories.
Oh, I'd love to read it. So that's called Adrift by
Drift. This
Stephen
one by yeah,
Stephen Callahan.
exactly.
Okay.
So many books. I have read a lot of books.
Oh, that's
And this too is like so you definitely could find the English version because the author they speak English.
okay. Well, I'll definitely include this so that the audience can also access this. I'll leave it in the show notes. So I have a few last questions for you, and this is more to envision the future because since you have this worldview that I really appreciate, I want to know how you see yourself. Like, what vision do you have for yourself in the future? And then what vision do you have for tea and Taiwanese tea in the future?
So I'll talk about the future of tea in Taiwan first. And so basically I am always positive about tea industry in Taiwan because people started to drink tea started from 5,000 years ago. And that's a very, very long time. Probably dynasty will rise and fall, but people keep doing the same thing. That's the cultural stuff. Tea is the most important cultural drink in Taiwanese people or Chinese people's mind. Just like wine as well or whiskey. No matter which country it becomes, that people just keep doing the same culture. They practice the same culture. So tea is beautiful itself and it's harmful and neutral. Tea is always neutral. That's what I like about tea. It's a good it's a good tool to link people together.
Mm.
You don't speak a language, but you could drink it and you can feel that culture. So I think it's always a good platform and tool to connect people together. So as long as as long as it's a spiritual cultural platform and tool, it is strong. It's strong there. It does no harms. So even there's a war, you don't destroy this industry. You still want to drink tea. It's something that heals yourself, you know. Even you like a fire, you do something, you want to destroy something, but you don't touch this part. It's a cultural part. And it's not like religions. You know,
Mhm.
some religions like you agree to it or you disagree with it, but tea just like everybody's okay with it. It's just tea.
Yeah.
Tea is definitely has a great future in the future. And on top of that, because the global warming is continuing, is happening. So I think in the future it will be harder and harder for people to be able to get the access to good tea
Mhm.
because the climate might change, might alter the quality of the tea. So right now, still we still have very good tea, and the prices are very reasonable, very good price. In the future, it might be like you spend 50 times, 100 times the prices to buy the same quality of tea right now.
Yeah.
So to be able to enjoy it right now, it's just like I personally drink a lot of tea right now. I encourage people to try it if they could.
Absolutely. I mean, love tea. I have so many cans of tea right now on my wall, and it is every time I go anywhere in Taiwan or in Japan where I make sure that I get some. So definitely hope that it stays strong in the future.
And
So,
what's the first question? I sort
oh yeah,
of
for
your first
yourself,
question.
what is your
Yeah.
vision for yourself in the future?
Yeah. I've been thinking about this question very often because I'm still young. I'm actually just 28.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still very young. So, but I started to think this question when I was like 22, just like asking myself, what kind of person do I want to become in the future?
Mhm.
But there's so many different changes in our lives because you don't know what will happen. You know what? I'm 28, but I I always think about what if I die in the next minute because anything could happen. You could just go on the street and get hit by the car,
Mhm.
and I don't know what will happen for tomorrow. So in the future, I definitely hope that I always remain a positive person
Mm.
and always embrace new ideas and talk to more people. Always like stay liberal, open-minded, and to experience good things. I would love to travel to Africa and South American countries like Bolivia, Peru, like Panama, these countries to see something that is so different.
Mhm.
So that's my goal, to visit more countries as possible and experience people's culture and lives. And me as myself, I wanna keep producing, stabilize what we produce because we produce very good tea. I think my family's tea is the best in the world. I strongly believe that our tea, the perfumey smell and the taste is the best in the world. So my goal is to continuously produce them and share with all the international visitors who come to Taiwan. I want them to get surprised.
Yeah.
You know, they come in, no matter if they want to buy or not, just like it's okay with me. I don't care if people buy or not. I just want to share what we have with everyone who comes into our shop. So I want to keep doing that. And I also want to listen, just like you, I benefit a lot from you because you started this broadcast. You try to motivate other people. That's a very good concept. I personally want to do that, but I'm not motivated enough to be able to do a broadcast this long and share many things with other people. I can only share with my own stories through your platform with other people. That's a great thing. So
Yeah.
I think I want to talk to more people and to learn different perspectives from other people. That will be the best thing for me in the future.
Beautiful. All right. Well, those are all the questions that I have for you today, Rafa. Really sincerely thank you for coming on to talk with us and share your story and your perspective and just the beauty of tea in Taiwan. Is there anything else you want the audience to know? Any last thoughts before we finish for today?
I want everybody, all the audience who have the chance to be listening to this podcast, to stay positive. And when you are going through any depression right now, just Think about your family, think about yourself, think about this world. There are so many things that we haven't experienced at this point. So I know it's hard to go through depressions. Sometimes we got just feel stuck there. You could have moved it forward, and we need somebody else to help you out a little bit. But I just want people to remember one thing. Think about the things that we haven't experienced. Experience them before you die, okay? If you think about this, you won't go choose to death easily. You don't give up easily. It's just like it's a process. We go through depression for better tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rafa. All right.
Thanks for having me again.